Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The initial phase of Triple A's time as the head of creative in WWE featured the rise of a certain megastar, LA Knight. Shortly after reverting to the LA Knight character following a short run as Max Dupree under the Vince McMahon regime, he experienced an unprecedented rise in popularity despite being booked as an underdog for months on end. Knight ended up missing WrestleMania 39 in LA despite the WWE Universe clamoring for a spot for the now two-time United States champion. Over the summer of 2023, Knight continued to talk trash like only he can while also delivering in the ring and developing a character the WWE Universe deeply resonates with. All this while, he continued to be a top merch seller with one of the most popular catchphrases with everybody in arenas and on the internet, saying, "LA Knight, yeah?" He went to feud with then undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and his work during this time erased any doubts about his abilities and proved that he was a world champion caliber wrestler. And yet, somewhere along the way, Knight seems to have fallen off Triple H's priority list again. While LA Knight has had a fairly successful run over the past 2 years, one could argue that his booking and presentation have been somewhat inconsistent and underwhelming. Teaming up with John Cena was a bright spot, and so was his feud with Roman Reigns. An extended feud with Logan Paul had its hits and misses. However, underwhelming challengers for the United States Championship, followed by his title loss to Shinsuke Nakamura, remains one of the most baffling decisions in recent memory, especially considering how there was absolutely no follow-up on Nakamura and the US Championship. Additionally, an influx of free agents has led to the return of iconic future Hall of Famers, as well as the emergence of new stars who require getting over, often at Knight's expense. This is perfectly fine in the grand scheme of things, but it does beg the following question. The ideal answer would be, as one of the most powerful men in the company, as Mr. Money in the Bank. Despite being a beloved babyface, Knight remains his brash and opportunistic self, which is what won the fans over in the first place. His personality thus aligns perfectly with the idea of an MITB contract holder. In a testament to his popularity, Knight enters his third MITB ladder match in 3 years as the sentimental favorite. Given his age, this might be his last real shot at being a world champion and a bona fide main event superstar. Let's be honest, Seth Rollins seems like the most probable winner of the briefcase, given his current role as perhaps a pillar of Monday Night Raw, his involvement in the world title picture, and the main event scene. But if there is anyone else who makes sense, it is LA Knight. The match lacks star power and genuine main event talent, with the likes of CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and others absent. Their failure to qualify serves as a pivotal plot point in their character arcs and the overall storyline. This leaves the room for Triple H to pleasantly shock the fans with LA Knight winning the MITB ladder match. Punk and Zayn could play spoilsport vis-a-vis Rollins and allow LA Knight to take the advantage. With the complex and interwoven main event picture across Raw and SmackDown, the addition of the megastar as Mr. Money in the Bank could further spice things up. With the added element of someone relatively newer to the high-stakes Game of Thrones but not necessarily caring about it, Knight holding that kind of power could further intensify ego clashes. All this while, all he'll need to do is bide his time till the time is right for him to cash in and become the new WWE World Champion. LA Knight didn't ride a viral moment or get an early rocket push. He clawed his way into relevance through promo skills and an old-school swagger that cut through the noise. In an era defined by scripted segments and overproduced personas, Knight's authenticity stood out. The louder the "yeah" chants have gotten, and the more the WWE Universe has held on to the LA Knight gravy train, the clearer it has become that Triple H has a made man on his hands. Whether Paul Levesque is ready to pull the trigger or not, Knight's name has always been in the conversation when it comes to crowd reactions, merch sales, and breakout potential. If WWE is serious about creating new main eventers, then it's time to treat the 42-year-old like one. Tathia interviewed wrestling stars such as Gunther and Drew McIntyre at the WWE Superstar Spectacle 2023 in Hyderabad. Tathia got hooked on wrestling during the road to WrestleMania 34, when there was widespread speculation about a potential John Cena vs. The Undertaker match, because they had always been the two most popular stars amongst the casual viewing audience in the country. The build-up to their match fueled his curiosity. Despite the brief match, he began exploring wrestling through Sportskeeda during this time, which led him to become passionate about the industry. CM Punk is a standout figure for Tathia, as he believes the star is a true master of blending fiction and reality in wrestling. Among a whole lot of things about CM Punk, he also resonates with Punk's mantra, "I'm straight edge, and straight edge means I'm better than you." In the ever-evolving world of professional wrestling, windows of opportunity are fleeting. One day you're the hottest act in the company, and the next, you're relegated to nostalgia pop and mid-card tags. But every once in a while, a star refuses to dim, even as the years roll by. That's exactly where we stand today with a 42-year-old veteran, a performer who still commands crowd eruptions louder than almost anyone on the roster. LA Knight. And make no mistake, this is Triple A's final real opportunity to crown LA Knight as WWE World Champion. There won't be another. Let's be honest. LA Knight isn't just over, he's lightning in a bottle. With a rare blend of charisma, veteran ring savvy, and a promo game that channels the ghost of Attitude Era greatness, Knight is the kind of star who doesn't come around often. For years he toiled in developmental, reinvented himself in NWA, and even made a splash in Impact Wrestling. But it wasn't until his reinvention as LA Knight in NXT, and then the main roster, that everything clicked. At 42, he's not the prototype of WWE's future, he's the present that fans are screaming for. Every "yeah" that echoes through arenas is a statement. We want this guy on top. But fans also know time is not infinite. Knight isn't some 25-year-old blue chipper with a decade of main events ahead. If WWE is going to strike gold, it has to happen now. When Triple H took over creative control from Vince McMahon, fans breathed a collective sigh of relief. We expected long-term storytelling, more emphasis on in-ring action, and a focus on organic crowd reactions. For the most part, the game has delivered. The rise of Gunther, the re-legitimizing of the Intercontinental title, and the incredible Bloodline saga all carry his fingerprints. But perhaps Triple A's biggest test as a booker isn't just crafting five-star stories. It's knowing when to pull the trigger on a performer the fans already love. If Vince McMahon had a bad habit of pushing stars the audience rejected, Triple H faces the inverse challenge, failing to crown the ones the audience already loves. LA Knight is his moment to prove he knows the difference. Many fans thought WrestleMania 40 would be the moment. With Cody Rhodes finally finishing his story, the time felt right for a secondary triumph. Perhaps LA Knight claiming the World Heavyweight Championship on night one, or at least being involved in a marquee match. Instead, he was shuffled into a mid-card feud with AJ Styles. Good match, good promo build, but nothing world-shaking. And while Knight came out victorious, the win didn't feel like a leap forward. It felt like treading water. That's why SummerSlam is so crucial. There's still time to build a moment that echoes. Damian Priest, current World Heavyweight Champion, is doing fine work as a transitional figure, but he lacks the undeniable crowd connection Knight brings every night. Triple H has the opportunity to book a mega match that feels earned. Not just a reward for Knight, but for the fans who have chanted his name, even when creative didn't seem to care. The beauty of a potential LA Knight title win is that it doesn't require smoke and mirrors. No convoluted interference, no double turns, no briefcases or distractions. Just a fired-up veteran who grabs the mic, challenges the champion, and dares anyone to say he's not the biggest star in the building. Give Knight the build, let him cut fire promos on Raw. Let him speak from the heart about being overlooked, underestimated, and undervalued. Let him own his age, his grind, his history. Let him be real. Then, book the damn match. Let SummerSlam 2025 be the night where 50,000 people yell "yeah" in unison as Knight lifts that world championship high above his head. No swerves. just a megastar getting his moment. WWE history is littered with examples of what could have been. Think about Cesaro, Rusev, or even Damien Sandow. Guys who caught fire, only to have their momentum squandered by poor timing or a lack of faith from the top. Fans are forgiving until they aren't. If LA Knight is booked into yet another upper mid-card feud this fall, or if he spends the rest of 2025 circling title pictures without ever breaking through, the fans will eventually move on. They always do. And when that happens, Triple H doesn't just miss out on a feel-good championship moment. He loses trust. The crowd believes in Knight right now. But more importantly, they believe that Triple H might actually listen. That's a power no booker can afford to squander. A championship doesn't just reward Knight, it elevates the title. The World Heavyweight Championship, for all its prestige, is still building its identity post-Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins did the initial heavy lifting. Now Damian Priest is the caretaker. But LA Knight can be the spark that makes the title feel vital. His promos alone could carry weekly segments. His underdog-turned-champion story would resonate with every 30-plus fan who grew up loving wrestling but never stopped believing in the stars who earned it the hard way. You want compelling weekly television? Let Knight defend the title against Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, or even heel Cody down the road. Let him lose it eventually to elevate someone new, maybe Carmelo Hayes or Braun Breaker. But first, let him have the run. Let him prove that sometimes, the best stories are the simplest. A guy who worked his ass off finally getting the gold. This isn't about handing out Lifetime Achievement Awards. It's about capitalizing on timing, crowd connection, and momentum. 3 things you rarely get to align in pro wrestling. Right now, LA Knight has all of them. Triple H is a student of wrestling history. He knows how hard it is to find lightning in a bottle. And he knows what happens when you don't act fast enough. So here's the truth. This is his last real chance to make LA Knight a world champion. If he doesn't, someone else will eventually replace Knight in the fans' hearts. But if he does, if he pulls the trigger at the perfect time, he'll create a moment that fans will talk about forever.